Hey, they know what time it is.
What it do?
It's time for the MoodTalks.
Hey.
I'm your host, Phill Walks.
And I'm your man, Xzaiver V.
No longer Tequila Phill.
Or Modelo X.
But we gotta keep the energy rolling.
Please, let's keep the energy rolling.
So look, we don't have that much to talk about today.
You sure?
I think last pod there was some things that I just wanted to get off my chest.
Okay.
And I feel like me saying it on the pod was a good outlet.
I think so too. I think it was a really good opportunity, at least for me, to know what your mood is, know how you feeling about things that's going on in your life. So, yeah, as well, I think it was good.
Of course. Do you got anything you want to get off your chest?
Why is everybody coming for me
For
today?
what I heard, you was posting something.
Oh, see, that's not how we was going to start this off. We were supposed to start this off talking about you and the Dream Girl scenario.
Oh, yeah. The update.
Yeah.
The update. All right.
I don't know if everybody ready for me to drop the T on that status just yet.
Okay, don't drop the T.
In like 6 more minutes, they'll be ready.
Damn.
So get ready.
Ooh.
So, just a quick update, right? So, I finally, manned up and DM'd this young lady, and I was like, "Yo, how you doing?" She was like, "Good. How are you?" And then I was like, "Hey, would love to talk to you. How about lunch anytime this week or next week if you're busy?" And y'all still haven't got that response. Had the scene and everything.
Humble.
Shut up, man.
I mean, these things happen, right? So
They do.
But again, for me, I feel a little bit relieved, I guess, because I did kind of reach out to a certain extent, right?
Yeah.
And I think my next thing is just to be like, I'll just apologize through the DMs. Like, yo, I was seeing the way how I was interacting with you, and with that, I apologize. And I just want to tell you. I want to tell you in person, but hey.
I mean, maybe if she watched this podcast, this show, maybe, she understand your apology here.
Maybe.
One never know.
But anyways, off of me. On X.
Oh, no.
Yes.
I mean, you still technically got 3 more minutes.
Okay, I got 3 more minutes. We can just...
You gotta hype yourself up for it.
Why did I... Okay. All right. Okay. You know what? I'm a big boy. Total transparency here. All right, here we go. The person who I made this status about...
What's the status? The people don't
Okay, so... What was it? Yesterday I made that?
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen.
Oh, hell no. Okay. So... now I'm all embarrassed. So I think like yesterday, before yesterday, made this Facebook status late in the morning talking about that I recognized that I was kind of catching feelings for somebody who I wasn't expecting. Some things kind of shifted, and when I was laying down and going to sleep, I was like, ooh, what is this feeling that's bubbling up in my heart space?
Oh, he got the bubbles. He got the bubbles. The boba.
That's not... You know what? Moving on.
We got a whole song about that. Bro.
Yeah.
Y'all do have a whole song about that.
Make you feel uncomfortable.
God damn.
The fluttering of the heart.
It
Play
wasn't
that shit
uncomfortable.
right now, bro.
It
We
was
can
just
judge
like
a couple
a...
minutes.
It was just like a sort of like, ooh, like, okay, like again, it was just unexpected.
Okay.
All right, so y'all really want me to be transparent about this?
I mean, you ain't got to go into detail, but
We
like...
don't need like date of birth and shit.
But y'all want to know who it is.
No, you ain't even gotta do
tell
all
the whole
that.
pie. You can just tell us.
You can be real cryptic with it.
Yeah.
How about that?
All right, now he needs a couple more minutes.
No. I can do this. This person makes music. This person I have interviewed before. I'll leave it at that for the moment.
Not cryptic enough, bro.
That's not cryptic
No.
enough?
No.
People could just go back and see who you interviewed.
Well, then I'm not good at lying about nothing. Okay? I'm a very honest.
What is it about
That's
this
what
person?
today's pod is about.
I'm
Everybody learning how to lie.
I can't lie. I'm a very honest person.
You don't have to lie per se. You just have to.
I don't know how to
Decide
be.
You just
what
have
you
to.
want say.
Right.
I don't know how to be vague or mysterious at all. I'm a very direct, blunt person.
Okay.
Like,
You direct and blunt, but
Yeah.
you only told Facebook you have feelings. You didn't tell this person you have feelings.
And I know your comments was going crazy too.
first of all, people was laughing at the status. I'm like, y'all some terrible people. Some terrible people. Okay, well, you know what? Fuck it. Because last podcast, we got on Phill about, manning the fuck up and telling old girl how he feel. So I guess this is my time to man the fuck up and just be honest about who this person is. Okay.
Yo, you were doing so much more honesty than Phill.
So much more. You don't have to say.
No. I'm gonna say it. And we'll just go from here. We'll see what happens. So the person who I wrote the status about, or the person who's the status about, I hate you, Harvey, is actually you, Phill.
Wow.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah. So it slapped me out of nowhere.
Mm.
I think so. What happened was listening to you open up last podcast was like, ooh, I was like, I really got to see like the depths that is inside of you and like your intentions and stuff like that and how you move. And then when you told me and Ben the story about how you had got pulled over a couple days ago, I sat there and I was like, dang, if something happened to that man, I would be upset. And so then when I was going to sleep, I was like, I think I got feelings for this nigga. And I was like, oh, fuck. I was like, how did that happen? I was like,
So let's talk about it, right? Let's talk about it. So working relationships.
I want to talk about the message Harvey just sent me.
what did he send you?
It said, dang, Phill don't need this. Now he gonna have a bigger head.
Help us today. Help us today, child. Help us. Is this what I bring? Is this the energy that I'm circulating around?
I mean,
No.
shit.
This is the energy you came into.
Okay. Well, that makes me feel just a
Yeah. No. You good. We're the destructive energy. That's the vibe.
All right, so what?
But yeah,
What?
so let's talk about it. Like,
Okay.
So relationships within a working sphere.
Mm-hmm.
How does that work?
What do you mean, how does that work? Well, I think for me, if the chemistry and the bond and the vibe is there and the communication is there, first and foremost, I think it's something that can definitely flourish and be productive. I don't necessarily see anything negative. At least this is just my opinion. Because when I have feelings for somebody, especially like when I'm like know that I'm falling in love and I want to be with that person, and I think I mentioned this last time, like everything just sort of gets heightened. Like I get way more energy. I'm way more like vibrant. It's like some sort of motherfucking magical superpower that I just get, and I'm just like, all right, let's do this shit, and it's just like da 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 da, and everything is literally just like an extra HD 4K effect, color on the world, or whatever. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay. For me, I definitely being in the industry that I am in, which is the music industry. I don't shit where I eat.
That sounds like
If that
a
makes any
terrible
sense at all,
analogy.
right? So, like, there's been people that I worked with that we have sexual tension, sexual connections,
Ooh.
but there's no need to explore.
Ooh.
Because you don't shit where you eat.
Ooh.
And that's kind of just how I navigate it in all the workspaces that I've been in.
That sounds like some old school shit.
Like,
No, I mean that's kind of been like a rule though.
That's
like,
understandable.
We like established that as a rule like years and years ago. Like to not make shit weird.
Of course.
Like you can't be with anyone in the crew.
Right.
I don't know. I feel like.
Well, geez, I hope I just didn't just make shit just awkward.
you did not.
Nah,
You did
shit,
not.
bro. You gotta get the fuck out.
Can I get a pizza first?
Damn.
I at least want a parting gift.
You should have came. Huh?
Damn.
Yeah, so Ben had.
Well,
a
I know
pizza
where
party.
you live though, so.
Oh, is that a threat, bro?
Mm.
What you gonna do? Knock on my door?
He gonna.
I'm gonna climb the balcony of plants.
Set them hoes on fire.
Oh,
I didn't say that.
shit,
No, he
bro.
said that.
Yeah.
See, he said that. I didn't say that. I respect the plants.
You know, X, I will help you set them shits aflame. No, I'm just,
Why are you continuously putting me in this plan and setting these plants on fire?
you know, I was just trying to do some
Yo,
bonding, but
Phil
you
bad
ain't
hates my
down.
plants, bro. He mad jealous. I like them plants more than him.
Damn.
You don't even take care of them, bro. You just put the sprinkler on them and you go about your day.
That's taken
His
care of.
hydroponic
You don't even look
system,
at them, bro. That's crazy.
I always got the fucking blinds open, bro.
Well,
But yeah, so
Well, I just don't know how to like continue the conversation. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's weird.
oh, okay.
Like I get it.
no, not at all.
Yeah, I've been there.
You know, cause I think I'm a very likable
caught
person.
feelings?
Oh,
Phil
shit.
too?
Harvey's
Yeah, no.
thing is coming to true.
Dang.
Wait, what you say?
He said he been there, and I said you caught feelings for Phill too. Dang,
I am
y'all
the
caught
opposite space.
feelings.
Security.
So for those who don't know, that is Harvey in the background. Just
She about to get dragged out this bitch.
About to get the stage thing, just pull her off stage.
No, I get it though, cause like, especially like people I've worked around and shit, just like that energy and vibe and shit. And I'm like, this shit perfect. And so like, yeah, I get it.
yeah. But yeah, so can we move on, Xavier?
Yeah, I'm good.
Would that be insensitive of me?
I'm good.
Yeah, you guys in the conversation now. You got
Yeah.
the hottest tea here.
Oh
the
my
stars.
god. No, I'm good. No, y'all was just like pressuring a guy to just like, ugh. But you know, like I
Oh, we
said,
playing
like
it cool. Nah.
no.
He got the shades on. You see what I'm saying?
But like I said, like I'm a very blunt and direct person, so I really don't know how to lie at all. Like I'm a terrible liar. Like y'all will know if I'm ever lying about something because you just look at me, I'd be like twitching and some other bullshit. No, like
For real?
the girl from Knives
Throwing
Out
up?
who was throwing up. Yes, that is literally me. If I lie, I swear to you.
Dang, we can't do no crimes with Xzaiver, man.
Yeah, don't.
You do no
don't.
crimes with you either.
First of all, I'm the one to do crimes with.
Nah, you were the
This
biggest
is
fucking
true.
snitch on
This-
the planet.
No way.
Damn. Well, y'all would know each other.
That's why you don't do no crimes. Snitch on you, because I need you out my life.
So let
Sorry,
me
this
let
is
me
their
let me
podcast.
let me ask you this, Xavier.
Yeah.
For those who don't know,
Mm.
I guess I would say that I am a straight man.
Right.
And have you had these experiences before with straight men?
Well, liking straight man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how does that work?
Well. I tell them, and they either say yay or nay, and we keep it moving.
Like, do y'all like stay cool, or is it like?
Yeah, like 9 times out of 10, I stay cool because I just like to stay cool with people. Like I don't like if things get too messy, then that's when I'm like, all right, maybe we need to either go back to what it was, or maybe we need to talk about this and shift it back, or whatever, to something new, or shift it into something new, or whatever. But there have been times where I have told people how I felt. And how do I put this? I think we had this conversation before, right? Where, I said I had been around straight men who you know, we had this really tight connection, this really tight bond or whatever. And they knew that I was queer, and we'd be talking, and I'd be like, hey, I like you. And they'd be like, oh, okay, that's cool, blase, blase, blase. And then maybe like a month or two later, you know, I start picking up that, you know, the vibe's back. But it would be like, because they've lived their life as a straight man for so long, trying to... Actually, I give you a perfect example. Just very recently. A guy popped up in my DMs who I was friends with way back in the day. And he was like, didn't you used to like me back in the day? And I started laughing. I was like, that's random as hell. Why you popping up in my DMs asking me that question? Random. So I was like, yeah, but what that got to do with anything right now, right? So he was like, we started talking, and he was like, yeah, well, I liked you, but I'm not gay. And so I was like, okay, cool. I already know that. Like, moving on. He was like, well, was you trying to turn me out or anything back then? And I was like, no. I was like, that's not even how I roll. Like,
You a predator?
no.
I'm just playing.
So, long story short, basically, is he was basically like, he admitted that he had feelings for me, but in his mind, admitting having feelings for me meant that he was gay, which he didn't want to be gay, basically, at the end of the day. And so I was like, okay, cool. I respect that. I'm not mad at that. So my mind went to, I wonder how many people have that sort of thought process about, you know, how many men have that thought process about other men and deny themselves happiness based off of a word, right? Because I'm like, you know, me and that brother had a very good, like, solid friendship, solid relationship. Like, we had similar interests, like, we liked the same things, so on and so forth. And, you know, we just vibe really well. And so, you know, it was just like, I ain't calling you gay. Like, shit, I don't care. Like, I don't give a fuck. But it was just like, you know, if the feelings is there, you know, why can't we not explore? Like, what is this fear around these labels that, you know, we feel like we have to identify with? You know what I mean? Like, if I like you, I like you. It doesn't matter, you know, at the end of the day. Like, we just... So that's what my mentality was like, how many people have this word, you know, destroy? How many opportunities and happiness and genuine relationships could flourish, you know? But in the back of people's minds, they're like, well, I don't want to be gay. And so I was just like, that sounds like some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, forgive me for not... I'm not, you know, part of the community,
Right.
but is it like you just like he would be gay if... I'm just...
No, in his mind, he's like, anything that is associated with the same sex at all makes him gay. Anything, whether it's, you know, feelings, relationship, a quick blowjob, you know, in anything, you know. And so in his mind, as long as he is doing any and everything with a woman, he's straight. But the minute he does anything physically, sexually, romantically with a guy, he's gay, and he don't want nothing to deal with that. Does that make more sense?
Okay, yeah.
Because I mean,
Wouldn't he be bi? If I'm, you know, I'm...
You know what we need?
It's Pride Month, yo, and I'm just trying to get educated out here.
We need a soundboard that like just plays a sound like Phill cancel alert. It's like a trigger warning that Phill about to say some shit, and I just hit it when I think it's
like
coming.
bing, like a bell or something.
Yeah, just,
Well, I mean, it's more nuanced than that, right? Because we walk around saying, you know, love is love, and, you know, my heart is open to, you know, love whomever. But we as a society also have been indoctrinated into ways of being, ways of existing, ways of looking and viewing the world and each other, all down the line, whether it's through race, through culture, through gender, through sexuality, through academic affiliation, through creative arts. We have compartmentalized everything. And so, and each compartmentalized or each department has rules and labels and standards that are within them, right? And so it's like we are conditioned to believe that we are this, and because we believe that we are this, it only gives us a very narrow, limited, focused view of what this experience is all about. Does that make sense? And so it's like, we always like to use the adage, oh, well, I'm going to live out the box. I'm going to live out of these, these labels and things like that. But to really and truly do that means that you have to do that across the board, like with everything.
Okay.
So that's something that I have had to begin excavating the last couple of years. So I call myself queer because for a long time I identified as gay, but then I met a woman, and then I was like, well, I can't say that I'm gay no more because I fell in love with her and her son, and we engaged physically. So I was like, at that point, I was like, okay, I'm not gay because I recognized that I could love and be with women. But then, I was like, okay, I was nervous. Y'all didn't know what that meant for my life. I was having a whole nother, as you can clearly see, this is how I was moving with the energy. I was like, I don't know how this works out again. You know what I mean? But having that experience broadened my definition of who I was, because I thought I was just this, but then I recognized through that experience that I can love in much greater capacities than I ever thought possible.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So this is what I mean when I say, we limit ourselves to certain things.
Okay.
Well, I think like human beings have like this innate desire to classify things. And I think it's like comes from like evolutionary psychology, when it used to be like, oh, this certain thing will fucking kill you if you eat it, and then they would start like classifying things like that. So now we get to here, and we still have like this need to like want to classify and label things, because like I guess like the complexity and length of the lists of like different sexualities or like gender identities and orientations and like things like that really speaks to like our need to have a name for whatever it is we are.
I would say a need to control.
Yeah, it's the same thing for sure. But like it's complex when we try to classify it, but I think in reality it's much more simple in the sense of like, I guess if you get away from like all the Western Christian normalization of like all of our culture, and like you move back to something like more ancient, like the Greeks, Romans, stuff like that. Like the labels, like they didn't have all the labels we had. People just did what the fuck they wanted.
Right.
And I would say we're still trying to do that, but also everyone wants to have a name for their thing, understandably, like as like a hetero cis white male.
Right.
Like
they do say that.
Yeah. Well,
this is a thing.
Like I'm not trying to like impose myself.
No. I mean, I get you.
But it's just like the people just want to understand what they are. I would say.
Which I think is fine, and I think it's fair. I think the problem that we run into is, again, when in understanding ourselves, we want to classify and compartmentalize who we are instead of really just letting the experiences happen and being in the present moment with them and saying, okay, today I am this, but tomorrow or maybe even 5 minutes later, that very well could change. And just having that level of fluidity, you know what I mean?
I think it's a disconnect mentally between using language descriptively instead of prescriptively. So like, instead of using the label to like describe what you are, you instead find a label that like, I won't say like you like, oh, I like this label, but like a label that like seems to suit you, and then you prescribe your life to said label.
Right. I think that's what we
No.
we do.
Yeah. Well, that's what you just said. I just said it in
Okay.
three fancy terms.
Right. Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you, Benny Beats.
Yeah. So as like far as like attraction, I would think from what I'm hearing from you is you find attractive is like people's personalities.
Yeah, so for me it's always an energy thing. Like I don't care what you look like, if I walk up and we talking and I start feeling something, I'm like, what is that? I'm curious. I want to explore what that is. That's why I'm like, I think somebody asked me recently, like, well, you just like men and women? Like, I just like I like everybody. I can probably sleep with and fuck everybody, across the spectrum.
You can fuck anybody, bro.
Fuck any. Listen,
Ooh,
like, like whatever you identify with man, male, female, transgender, male, female, pansexual, whatever, right? To me, it's a heart spiritual connection that I'm looking for, from a human being, regardless of what they ascribe to as far as labels. So if I meet somebody, like I said, and I'm like, wow, like I feel you in my heart, like I want to explore what this is, I'm gonna be bold and blunt and be like, hey, I'm feeling something. Like, did you feel this too? If not, that's cool. But I just want to let you know that I'm feeling you. I'm feeling you. I'm feeling your vibe. I'm feeling what you putting down, and I like it. I dig it. That's how I operate. But I understand now how that comes across to a lot of people, because a lot of people can't handle that, like that sort of directness. Because I think we like this game of cat and mouse. We love the chase or the hunt, instead of, I hate that. I'm not that kind of person. I'm like, if I like you, I like you. Let's skip all of the bullshit. Let's get straight to the point, so we can just be happy. You know what I mean? I can chase you when we together. You know what I mean? Like that. Like that's how I roll.
Okay.
You're not trying to run. You're trying to do like a gentle walk. Chase somebody, huh?
So the person that you were referring to, he said, but I don't want to be gay, and you felt like he was lying to himself.
No, I felt like I felt like there was a fear in exploring an aspect of who he was that birthed itself when me and him started hanging out. I'm not saying that he gay, because I do believe that a person you can meet, for example, like I met that one woman and she sort of like shifted me. That's how I feel on the opposite end. Like a man can meet another man who will shift him or whatever, and just make some things that didn't know was inside you come up, and you like, wow, like I didn't know that I could love a man in the same capacity and in the same ways that I could love a woman.
Right.
And I think that for him was scary. And in a real sort of way, he sort of admitted that by saying, well, what if we did, start talking and I catch feelings for you? Then what then? Like, I got kids, like I want to have another kid. You know what I mean? It was like that. So there was a lot of fears associated with him moving forward with that. You know what I mean? Which very understandably, like I'm not mad that he has fears, because I have fears.
Right.
You know what I mean? So no disrespect to him at all. If in fact, I appreciate the fact that he was so honest and forthright about his fears. You know what I mean? It's one thing to lie about something. It's another thing to just admit it and be like, well, that's just not what I want to do. You know what I mean? I feel like there's a distinction between the two.
Okay. Yeah.
Wait, real quick though. Like I know you want to talk about our Mount Rushmore. I did prepare Mount Rushmore to discuss.
Not even a rap. I said just the artist, right? Because there's this meme going around in a conversation, and we're a little late, right? Because
Super late.
we should have talked about it last week, but we had personal things to talk about. So,
Seems to be the running thing.
but yeah, I think that time though kind of gave me time to kind of firm up because I was missing one. I was missing one, and I was thinking, and then it hit me.
All right.
So
who your
I'm
mom?
a. All right, so I have affinity for Marvin Gaye.
Okay.
Got to put Drake in there.
Okay.
Frank Ocean, and then the last one is James Brown.
Oh.
Right, and so all these people have different things that I look up to, and as a aspiring artist, is like, damn, if I only had like a quarter or a tenth of their talent and mixed it into my shit. But yeah, so I guess I'll start with Marvin, right? So Marvin, his voice, the energy that he gave off on the mic, his aura, all of that, like just had this confidence to it. But he was my perception, he was a very sexual being.
This
and
is true.
I really like that. And I often get sad when I think about like how he died, and then the fact that he's just dead. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like he probably would still be making music that people would love. James Brown, he had a long career, but James Brown is very important. His dance moves, who he inspired a lot. A lot of different artists, Michael Jackson, Usher, you know what I'm saying? So how he moved, but how he commanded. He had a very commanding presence on stage. His band was the cleanest band. You better not play a wrong note, or you was gonna hear it from him. And I look up to that. You know, in high school I was a drum major, but not to the musical ability. I could not just focus in and be like, that's wrong. That's wrong, because I kind of grew up to like, everything doesn't have to be right. You know what I'm saying? Everything, sometimes you hit a wrong note and that might be the right note. You know what I'm saying? But it just might be the wrong note, but it feels good, right? And then Drake, his ability to switch things up, right? So you got singing Drake, you got Bob Marley Drake, you got the
We got actor
the
Drake.
Drake from the UK, you got, you know, his ability to be a chameleon. He can switch flows. And his reign is just everlasting. It's like, dang, now we're comparing Drake to Drake.
It is. That's true.
And then the last one, who's my last one? Frank Ocean, right? His songwriting ability, his mysteriousness. But yeah, really, like, Frank was one of the first artists that I would look at his lyrics, and it would be like, okay, how he got from here to here, and I would study that, and that made me a better writer over time. But yeah, so those four, ain't nobody beating them, in my opinion, right?
Okay.
But yeah, so what about you, X?
So my Mount Rushmore is completely different. Half of them, probably like 3/4 of them, ain't even American. So, the first one would be a South Korean K-pop singer known as Boa. She is considered to be the queen of K-pop. She is fucking phenomenal. I love her to death and beyond. Like, she's what got me started in the K-pop. And she took her legendary badass status over to Japan. She like mended political relations between Korea and Japan back in the day and just blew up in Japan. Then she came over to America, learned English, dropped an English album.
Wow.
Like, love her to death. Like, what she does musically and sonically and lyric wise is incredible. And her dance, like, she sings and dances live 90% of the time. It is fucking amazing. I wish I could go see her in concert. Fuck you, COVID.
Soon.
Soon. I hope so. The second one would be a South Korean R&B guy named Crush. I love his vocals. He definitely is inspired by Marvin Gaye, James Brown, some of those deep, legendary American artists. That's where he gets his inspirations from to be able to create the music that he creates, and it's so soulful and it's so smooth. And I just be like, God damn, if I had a voice like that, like I can't sing. I be wanting to sing, but I wish I could sing like that.
Right.
Third is, all right, y'all might laugh at me. I'm a diehard Britney Spears fan. I love Britney Spears. Look at Ben over there. He got the scrounged up face. Like, how dare you?
Oops, I did it.
I don't like that song.
Smiling, bro.
I don't like that song. I love Britney. Like everything post the third album, Britney is my shit. I don't like Baby One More Time or Oops, but that third album on is my shit. I don't care if she not singing live. I really don't care. I'm just there to enjoy the show, dance to the music, twerk, whatever, and live my best life to her music. The fourth would probably be, I would say, Janet Jackson.
Okay.
I love Janet Jackson. When I'm having bad moods or like when it's sunny day, like I think her music just can go with any type of mood of the day.
You go back to the nip slip. Huh?
Like the nip slip.
See, I wouldn't have been ready with the bell for that shit, bro.
Ding. So yeah, that's my top 4.
Okay.
That's my Mount Rushmore.
Honorable mention?
Oh, too many honorable mentions. Let me see. Honorable mention would be. I don't know off the top of my head.
I got 3 honorable mentions because I couldn't
Okay, well, will you do that?
Yeah, I'm a search. So, SZA was like real close for me.
Ooh.
But I feel like it's too early for her to ascend there. Just because her body of work isn't as big as the other artists I mentioned. But for songwriting, like just seeing how she got from A to B, really very interesting person. Even, when she was coming up, and I kind of been following her for a very long time, even before TDE. Then the next one is a non-fictional, but Pootie Tang. We got to put Pootie Tang in there.
You and your love for Pootie
And no
Tang.
disrespect to any of the other artists, but then my last honorable mention would be Kanye West.
Good
Just for being the influencer that he is. But yeah.
Okay, I found my honorable 3 mentions.
Okay.
Lucky Day. I love Lucky Day. Like, Lucky Day put me all up in my feelings, and I be here for it. Like, all up in my emotional feelings, all up in my I'm about to fuck you real good feelings, just all them kind of feelings. Then 2 honorable mentions after that would be a guy named Taemin. He would be considered like the South Korean version of Michael Jackson. Like, his shit is just that good and that superb. And then another guy named Baekhyun, amazing vocalist. Just if I could show you this song called Bambi that he just dropped in them high notes. Oh, anyway, I'm done. That's it. That's my time. That's
Ben,
it.
who you got?
Definitely can't.
What you mean you not prepared?
Uh-oh.
When
You had
do
2
that,
weeks, bro.
Dun,
You just
dun,
said you
dun.
wasn't prepared.
All right, let me think of 4.
You can't get on Xzaiver for not having Invincible and not watching
Right,
Invincible.
right.
on
You
there.
know what? Yeah. What he said. Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Claude Debussy.
Okay. What about him?
It's like one of the most insane fucking composers of like the last 150 years.
Okay.
Is it Impressionist? Is that right, Harvey? It's Claude Debussy Impressionist?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay. Something like that. Yeah, Claire de Lune. You ever heard Claire de Lune? That's Claude Debussy. There's a lot of like a lot of just amazing piano pieces, and I'm not going to try to pronounce the names of because they're not in English, and I'm not trying to get. I don't think any like classical music nerds are gonna watch this and then like getting some comments like "you dumb fuck." But
learn how to say the names properly.
Yeah, like absolutely insane. Probably my favorite composer pre 1950.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say 1950 arbitrarily.
Okay.
Are we doing individuals?
It could be group. You got a group?
Yeah, it could be a group. What's up?
Okay. Shit. Anderson .Paak on mine.
Ooh, that's
Like I can't not put Paak on there. Like I just can't. Like even if he like young, hasn't been like on that long, can't not put fucking Paak in there. Paak is, you know how you said Marvin Gaye was your like sexual music, bro? Paak make me want to fuck everything.
Feel it.
I'm here for it.
All right, 2 more.
I'm here for it.
Let me look at some shit.
Well, are you also interested, speaking of classical music, like, I know one of my favorites is, let me see if I can pronounce his name, Frederick Francis Chopin. I love
Chopin?
I love Chopin.
Yeah.
Chopin?
Big fucking fan.
Yeah.
Chopin.
They made a whole Japanese RPG about him and his music. That's when
crazy.
I found his music.
Yo,
I was like,
what?
oh, shit. Yeah.
For real?
Yeah, it's a game called Eternal Sonata that features like his score of music, and it's fucking beautiful. And I was like,
There's a C sharp minor, either like prelude or sonata. I think that's his. It's fucking crazy. Raindrop prelude, fucking crazy. Like he wrote the Raindrop prelude apparently during this like massive storm, and like his like wife and mother or some shit like went out to like acquire supplies and shit, and he was just like sitting at home. He thought they died because they didn't come back. So like that's what he wrote to mourn them, and then they just came fucking back. Like that's some emo shit, bro.
surprise, we're still alive.
Yeah, that shit goes hard. Jeez. I think I might give one of my spots to Led Zeppelin.
Ooh.
Okay.
I don't know if I can justify it, but
Damn, bro.
We ain't judging.
What a Mount Rushmore, bro.
that's 3.
No, that was 4.
That was 4.
What was 3?
Chopin. I mean,
No. It was Anderson .Paak, Led Zeppelin,
Claude
Debussy, and
Yeah, okay.
that I can't remember the other name. Or was it?
I'm pretty sure it was 3.
Okay, it's
when you
something.
started talking about Chopin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Come in that side.
And I don't know. I'm just gonna put Tchaikovsky up there.
Okay.
My shit weird. Swan Lake, The Nutcracker, 1812.
Dope. Very dope.
Yeah, dude. I mean, there you go. That's my freestyle Mount Rushmore.
Gracias, senor.
Well, with that, does anyone have anything else to add? I have one more thing in my notes, and I forgot.
I was thinking like what's going on with the pandemic, and how it's kind of a lot of things are like fading out, and it made me think about what the after effects of the pandemic will be. And it kind of hit me while I was at Porch Fest, just seeing everyone being out. But I think we are on the cusp of a creative revolution, like a new renaissance, if you will, because
Creative regime.
I just feel like a lot of people just have been holding things back, and especially with music is starting to sound good again. It feel good again. Like I listening to other people's music feels like 2011, back when I was like discovering new artists. It feels different. And I think there's going to be a explosion of just new artists and new music. And it's going to sound good and it's going to feel good. How y'all feel about that? Do y'all like feel like we're still in this I would say super consumerism area where people are just I mean, people were creating during the pandemic, but I feel like it's just going to explode now.
I think I would have to. I think I would be inclined to agree. Just looking at what's happening here in the city, like I think it would seem like it just happened overnight. Like just Flint just became this vital place of, or this creative wellspring of just a whole bunch of stuff. Like so many different industries are popping up.
Your mic is like falling. I'm
know.
sorry.
I know. No, I know. Do I twist? No.
You just I think you lose.
Haha. We're learning things.
You need the technical assistance?
No, I'm twisting
Right,
it.
should be good.
We good.
An audio assistant.
I'm all the assistants.
All the assistant.
Anything technological.
But I think when I look back at Flint in like 2014, 2015, I think when like the Dope Show, the Flint Local 432, when like all of this stuff was happening in the city, and then the Flint water crisis happened, which in my opinion you just threw this dark cloud over the city for a couple years. I think now what we're seeing is the growth from that moment. The seeds we planted back in them days, I think is now coming to fruition. Whatever. It's a lot of stuff happening in the city, so
True.
I will agree. I think we're in for a lot of new surprises and a lot of new things being created.
Definitely.
I think of it on a much broader level. I think that every time a broad economic shift pushes a broad cultural shift. So you have like the 60s with like young people started like protesting like Vietnam War type shit, and like it's getting more and more complex like the economy is. And so like through there, and then you have the 90s, which is like you get like the arrival of like much darker tone music than previously, because 80s were all just like the highs, like 80s economic high, everybody's high on cocaine, music is high energy, just a lot of highs, you know? The 90s get real dark because you gotta like pay for that shit. I mean, like you start getting like much darker, like hip hop coming out of the cities. You get like grunge music and shit like that coming out, and then you hit the 2000s and like .com bubble era starts
And we
or ends.
with pop
And-
music.
Yeah, and like music gets bright again. It's sort of like there's this idea of like an 80-year cycle where like every 20 years there's like 4 different stages we move through. I can't remember like the economist or whatever who coined the idea, but I think it's kind of like that. And I think COVID has pushed into beginning like a major economic shift, because you see like such extreme concentration of wealth among like the richest people. And now like food scarcity is starting to become a problem. Middle class is fucking dead. Like our generation will never be able to buy a house.
What is this middle class you're talking about?
Exactly. So like you see like this new, I don't know, because you have like the opulence and like wealth of like 2010s hip hop. Like what's like 2020 music look like? And I think it looks fucking dark again. Like I think we'll see just like a big cultural shift towards like much more like despair oriented art, you know?
The pessimist in Ben.
I wouldn't call it a pessimist, but I was like, I think we may be seeing the same thing, but just in
Well,
different.
I'm like talking like broad scale, like the size of the world.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, I guess in my opinion, the broader stroke is, I think I see a lot of us, or just a lot of people, having shifted, especially since we've been at home. I think a lot of people had a good enough time to sort of reevaluate life and just a lot of things in general, which is why we're having a lot of the social awareness, a lot of the activism, lot of conversations around capitalism and you know, the concentration of wealth and the environment and things like that. Because I think just being at home and not being on the go all the time sort of slowed the entire world down a bit to just sort of reflect and think and maybe come into ourselves a little bit more than what we were used to. So I think we're going to start seeing a shift as far as, you know, how we look, how we move, how we identify. I think just a lot of constructs that we call social constructs will slowly begin to fade, and like some new stuff is gonna pop up.
Well, yeah, because like one of the like functions of capitalism that like allows it to exist so well is that workers don't have any time to do anything but work.
Right.
Like you go work for 8-12 hours a day, you come home, you don't give a fuck about what's happening to your neighbors. As long as you got food, you go sleep. Like that's it. Like you don't have time to care about these things. That's why I think we saw like such like a big uprising with like George Floyd and like the Breonna Taylor situation and all that happened last summer, is because like you couldn't fucking ignore it. You couldn't just be like, I got other shit I gotta worry about, like going to work. Like no, everybody's sitting at home just watching people get senselessly fucking murdered, and they're like, oh, this is bad. This makes me angry. Right. I have time to get that angry today.
Yeah, empathy and being aware of how we feel, and I guess in a sense what is right and what is wrong, and our humanity, I think, is what I hope is something that, you know, we will take with us as we come out of this hibernation phase.
Yeah, I hope shit doesn't go back to the way it was, because you're seeing like a real interesting thing too with like this like worker shortage or whatever the fuck they want to call it.
It's not a
right?
worker
shortage,
because
they're not paying nobody. Yeah, but this is like one of the biggest moments for potential like collective bargaining by proxy in the history of America. Like, if people continue to hold out because they're not getting paid enough, like eventually they're gonna have to fucking pay people, because like businesses want to act like they're entitled to workers and ignore the rules of supply and demand that they love so fucking much. Okay. So like, hopefully something cool happens.
Yeah. Burn hopefully all the shit recognize that we're the ones that hold the power. Yeah. And we give it away. So I hope we took a lot of that back.
Yeah. We'll have to see though.
Yeah. To be continued, everybody.
Right. Yeah. So with that, guys, I would like to say thank you for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment.
Please do.
If you have anything to add to this conversation, we would love you to put anything in the comments, and just let us know how you feel. Also, we're starting to play my mood play of the day segment, so make sure you guys watch that video, because I'll be bringing to you a lot of artists in the Midwest, exposure and light to them. Yeah. So with that, Ben, can you play us out?
Hey, look at it. Thank you, Pineapple Man.